Coffee, benefits or harm. Interesting about science and medicine. Prepared by editors of a page, all scientifical. Coffee is the most popular drink of our time, with which many millions of people wake up every day. About its positive and negative properties, scientists are still arguing. Where is the birthplace of coffee bean? No one can say for sure where the birthplace of coffee is, but it's still assumed that this may be the Ethiopian province of Kaffa. But many legends tell us how the extraordinary properties of these beans were discovered. In Yemen, this fruit has been known for a long time because it has been grown since 15th century. The world learned about coffee from the Arabian Peninsula, from where these beans were stolen and cultivated in other areas of the planet. Europe met him later in 17th century and immediately fell in love with him. Although not everything was smooth in the history of a coffee drink in Europe. When did coffee first appear in Europe? European countries have had trade ties with the Near and Middle East for a long time, and coffee has been known in Europe for a long time. It has even been used as a medicine. The first European coffee house resided in Venice in 1645. Already in 1675, only in England there were about 3,000 coffee houses. Still, in some countries this drink spread slowly due to religious prejudice. Coffee first came to the United States in 1668 in the city of New Amsterdam, today's New York. It is bad for women to drink coffee. No one knows with accuracy the real effect of it. There was even a time when they thought that this drink was good only for women and harmful for women. That is why many women were forbidden to drink this, and only with the permission of their husband did they sometimes indulge in this drink. Only after many scientific studies it was found that the effects of it are the same for both men and women. What is caffeine? The most important active substance for the energy drink is 1,3,7-3-methyl-hexanthine, caffeine. There are other names in the literature: theanum, caffeine, guaranin. This alkaloid is mainly found in cola nuts, tea leaves, and coffee beans. Of course, it can also be obtained synthetically. The pharmacological properties and structure of caffeine are very similar to theophylline and theobromine, but caffeine has a more stimulating effect on central nervous system, and therefore it is used as a stimulant. The effect of caffeine on the body depends on the dose. Small doses of caffeine have the following effect on the body: positive effect on motor activity, positive and conditioned reflex are enhanced, reduced drowsiness and fatigue, increased physical and mental activity. Large doses can damage nerve cells. These substances act differently on a person. It all depends on the type of high nervous activity. In presence of caffeine in the body, the effect of narcotic and sleeping pills decreases. The reflex excitability of brain increases. The nerve centers of the respiratory and vasomotor system are excited. Heart activity increases, and myocardial contraction become more frequent and intense. Shock condition under the influence of caffeine can cause high blood pressure. Diuresis increases as a result of decrease in the reabsorption of electrolytes in the kidneys due to caffeine. Platelets aggregation decrease and secretion in stomach increase. What diseases is coffee used for? In infection disease in the form of caffeine sodium benzoate, in the treatment of disease associated with a decrease in the function of cardiovascular system and the central nervous system with drug intoxication. What is contained in coffee? The composition of coffee beans include fats 13%, digestible carbohydrates 4%, tannins 5%, caffeine 1.5%, esteroquinic and caffeic acid 6.5%, trigonelline 1%, purine bases 1.2%, mineral and trace elements 5%, oxalic acid 0.5%. It also contains over 200 substances that can be identified by good testers. 75% of the composition of raw beans is indigestible polysaccharides. Is there a link between cardiovascular disease and coffee? Fans of these drinks should know that main effect of this drink on the cardiovascular system is a short-term increase in blood pressure and increased heart rate. That is why it was previously banned for patients with arterial hypertension, coronary heart disease. Due to caffeine content, coffee drinking has long been considered the culprit of high blood pressure. But after the advent of this caffeine-free drink, it was also allowed for hypertensive patients on the basis that this type of coffee is harmless. Lovers of coffee are more likely to be at risk of high blood pressure than non-users, but such results were noticed if a person consumes more than 5 cups of coffee per day. Turkish coffee drink is prohibited, especially for the elderly. Can coffee increase the risk of coronary heart disease? A large number of scientists around the world claim that coffee can be cause of heart disease. More than 6 cups a day increases this risk by 71%. But there are also scientists who do not agree with this opinion. Brazilian, American, and Finnish doctors even say that it is absolutely harmless. The fact that these scientists conducted research only on healthy people should not be overlooked. If you have heart problem or you have problem with the cardiovascular system, then you can drink it only in small quantity. In the past, people thought it is in addition to hypertension, coffee could also cause coronary heart disease. Cancer and coffee. Until recently, it was believed that coffee can cause cancer, but thanks to recent study on animals and humans, it turned out that not only it not a cause of cancer, but it also contains antioxidants that protect cells from such disease. Coffee drinking and the central nervous system. The fact that this drink has a positive effect on the central nervous system has long been known. Women who drink a coffee are more resistant to great stress and they suffer less from diabetes, hypercholesterolemia, and hypertension. They also have fewer occasions when they need to take phenothiazine, methylidol, cimetidine, or diazepam. Is coffee bad or good for health? Coffee contains the dangerous substance benzopyrene, but the concentration of this component in it depends on the degree of roasting of the beans. So, the more roasted coffee beans, the more dangerous they are to health. Narcotic properties of coffee beans. There is an assumption that coffee has narcotic properties. In order for a substance to fall into the category of drugs, it must have three qualities: cause physical dependence, cause physiological dependence, be addictive. In order to have an effect, you need to increase the dose. A coffee drink has only one common characteristic with drugs: physical dependence. If a person have completely abandoned it, and before he was a coffee addict, then he when he may experience headache, nausea, absent-mindedness, irritability, drowsiness. Contraindication for taking coffee. It should not be drunk in coronary heart disease, atherosclerosis, kidney disease, irritability, insomnia, hypertension, glaucoma, calcium deficiency, rheumatoid arthritis. Can pregnant women drink coffee? Also a controversial issue because before they found that it could even cause a miscarriage. Taking a coffee can cause calcium deficiency in the body and pregnant women do not need it at all. It can also cause the fetus to grow undersized. It is not clear that dose of caffeine in the mother's body can harm the fetus, but 4 cups a day is already dangerous. Thank you for your attention. This material was prepared on the basis of material from the page O Scientifical. Attention, this material is for informational purposes only. When observing very unusual symptoms, it is recommended to consult a doctor. Subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Bye bye.